Thank Mrs. Tassi from the organizational team and also Mr. Francesco Ancona and all the participants in the organic table, especially Paolo Guarnaccia, Giovanni Daraguccione, Alfio Furnari, who is not going to speak today, but he contributed to the organization, and the producers who came from Sicily and believe in organic food. They believe in meeting operators from abroad, and this is an important moment. This is not a conference, an academic meeting, but rather a dialogue, a discussion between the producers in Sicily and the seller of organic food all over Europe. Here we have Mrs. Undrich from Germany, who represents her country. Then we have Elsa Bloquet from Brussels, Belgium. Stefano Cattori, who works in Switzerland in a company that sells and distributes organic products. And Miss Carina Rutterson, who works in one of the main European markets in France. I will leave the floor to Miss Stassi. I would like to welcome the delegates from the foreign pavilions. Thank you for joining us. I'm the coordinator of the Regional Office for Internationalization. Our work at Expo wants to be an opening to the other countries. These are very important actions. That is why we are recording and streaming all the meetings. Our companies and the operators in Sicily are going to watch the streaming, and it is going to be shown in the Cardo, so all the outside viewer can enjoy the meeting. Most importantly, this meeting can be viewed on the Sicilian channel on YouTube. The Sicilian region would like to treasure your talks, the exchange of experiences, and the stories of the operators working with other countries that get in touch with organic food selling and distribution, so that we can gather some hints, advice, and open up to new working methods. This is the reason why we engaged with representatives from other countries that will be able to say a couple of words at the end of our speeches. Expo is a chance for meeting each other and reinforce existing relations and create new ones. I thank you for your participation. I thank you on behalf of the City Councillor Pancheri, and he is going to be with us tomorrow morning, so you will have a chance to meet her. So I wish you good proceedings, and we hope that we can be enriched by our discussion. I would ask Mr. Ancona to start. Thank you and good afternoon. The program for today is the following. We would like to start with showing a video from 2011 from the Ministry of Agriculture. It shows all the different realities in Italy, focusing especially on the organic food production in Sicily. This is the best way to show the Sicilian context. The main characteristic is this fruit that is attached to the lower part of the orange, and it gives the name of all these types of orange called nuovo. This type of orange is the one that ripes, and so the first one that is harvested at the end of October, and then harvesting continues throughout the year. The fruit remains on the plant for 3 months. As you can see, it has a pleasant smell and taste at this point, and later on it becomes very, very sweet. Now ripening is at a good point, and the fruit is complying with all the parameters, so we can start harvesting. Since the 80s, this eastern Sicilian territory focused on the cultivation of citrus. This production is going to continue naturally if you don't break the ecosystem. Focus on cultivation with reference to the natural ecosystem with the intervention of man. So we use at minimum level external interventions, so fertilizers and protection procedures. So it implies that we have to have a great knowledge of the agricultural methods, and what we get is an organic fruit that uses no chemical fertilizers, no pesticides, and no chemical treatment. Everything is in balance with nature. The diffusion of companies that produce organic food is all over Sicily. It creates the prerequisite for a sustainable ecosystem to the benefit of new generations. I remember when I was a boy that in October we used to start fighting against flies and other insects. We don't do that anymore. But we don't have the same problems that we used to have. These flies affect the fruits only in rare cases. During spring, we have a lot of positive and beneficial insects that weren't here in the past. In the past, we used fumigation to combat them, and everything was destroyed. So we basically used poison. Now companies don't use any type of poison ever. We only have to fight infestating weed. Usually the weed is destroyed with chemicals. We don't use chemicals, but we cut them continuously to prevent them from growing too much. Companies appreciate our approach. Women at the supermarket probably look up for price, so they go for traditionally cultivated products, industrial products, because we have limitations that lead us to raise the prices. Citruses are just a part of our cultivation. Then there are vegetables and also wine production and oil production. Everything is produced organically. And therefore, it is connected to the new concepts that are extremely important today. And they are legality, respect for environment, and compliance with the law. We try and work sustainably. Everything that is produced here is compliant with this concept, using organic food and also informing people of our use of organic food and our choices is important. It is our choice, and this choice matches our values and our 360 degrees approach. When people come here, we always say that the food that they are eating was tested and produced organically. We made a precise choice. We favor local production. Our land doesn't only produce citrus, but also vegetables. Here you can see a little example of our organic production. Now, everything can be grown organically. This way of growing and consuming is not just a matter of fashion, it's a lifestyle. Today, consumers are more and more careful of what they eat, of what they buy at the supermarket. The consumer is careful of what they read on the labels. They notice whether food is organic, and when it is, they know that the product is subject to many controls that guarantee the health and the quality of the products. So each family can consume these products, can make jams, and be sure that they are using organic food that also respects the environment. Organic food means also protecting the environment. What does organic citrus harvesting imply? Oranges are washed and then they go to the counter to be selected. They don't undergo any treatment, they are only washed in cold water. In the following step, they go through an optical control that selects the product according to the size, the color, and the specific weight. These oranges are naturally polished. They are not treated with any waxes or other products. Many citrus fields means that there are a lot of flowers, and so bees grow there. And this is an advantage for all. Bees are the driver of everything, especially in Sicily, with all the cultivation of oranges. In my opinion, organic agriculture is necessary, is a path that everybody has to go along. Because nature and environment is more and more damaged, so we need to respond to that with agriculture. Here we have lemon jam, orange, and honey. These honey are different from traditional honeys because bees are not treated with chemicals in case they have any disease. So they don't leave any trace of chemicals in the honey. We need to consider opening the farms to the citizens, not only to make country closer to city, but also because it is beneficial to people.
Io starò entro i 10 minuti,
talk for a few minutes,
quindi
10 minutes.
in maniera tedesca.
I will be very strict. I will be on time.
Com'è? Sì, parlerò piano.
I will speak slowly.
Quindi a me è dato, diciamo, l'onore di
the
iniziare
honor
questo incontro
of being the first
con una presentazione che faccio a nome del tavolo tecnico
speech on
regionale,
behalf of the
che è stato
technical
appunto presentato
regional
dal dottore
table
Gnosi.
presented by Mr. Gnasi.
Ok. Il tavolo è stato costituito in maniera molto lungimirante nel 2012 dall'Assessorato regionale agricoltura ed è composto appunto da esponenti del mondo scientifico dell'Università di Catania e di Palermo, dall'INEA, da imprese agroalimentari del settore, da associazioni biologiche come l'Associazione Italiana di Agricoltura Biologica, dagli enti di certificazione e da liberi professionisti.
Freelancers.
Ed è coordinato.
It is coordinated.
Ed è coordinato, mi corre l'obbligo di dirlo, dal professore Paul Inglese, che doveva fare appunto questa introduzione, suoi appunto cattedratici non poteva essere presente, che a cui mando appunto un sentito ringraziamento per lo stimolo che ci ha dato in questi anni. Il ruolo del tavolo è stato quello di definire linee di intervento sul comparto biologico, stimolare le attività di servizi destinati all'agricoltura biologica, coordinare le proposte di attività di ricerca e favorire l'interfaccia, importantissimo, tra impresa, amministrazione regionale e sistema della ricerca. Questo ha portato all'elaborazione di un documento che abbiamo definito il piano strategico del biologico regionale siciliano, che è stato fatto proprio dall'amministrazione regionale e che è servito da strumento di implementazione di alcune delle misure del nuovo programma di sviluppo regionale. Gli obiettivi del piano strategico sono stati appunto quelli di fissare e rafforzare la presenza del prodotto siciliano sul mercato, favorire la creazione di sistemi di rete e di piattaforme,
systems of networking and some platforms or association of workers, to improve the system of the regional supply chain, to promote the construction of a portal on organic agriculture in Sicily, create the conditions for the presence of the organic system in the collective canteen, and build a database and services that could be used for the data on the agriculture.
I dati ci dicono che la Sicilia,
So
sono dati appunto
the figures that we have,
gli ultimi dati a disposizione
the
da parte
last
del
figures that
Ministero,
we have from the
ci dicono che la
ministry,
Sicilia è la prima
say
regione per
that
quanto
Sicily is the
riguarda
first
il numero sia di
region
aziende sia di
concerning the
superficie
figure
e vanta anche il
of
primato per quanto
companies
riguarda
and
alcuni
surface.
comparti.
And it's one of
Ne
the
sottolineo
top
alcuni, per esempio appunto
regions
gli agrumi
as
o la
to
vite
some
o
specific
il
sectors
settore
like cereals
dei cereali,
or wines or
il 21% della
vegetables.
superficie complessiva
21%
nazionale
of the
è
national organic
rappresentata
surface
dal comparto
represented
biologico,
by the
mentre il 20% della superficie agricola
organic
utilizzata
surface, and
rappresenta
instead
attualmente la superficie
20% is
biologica
the
coltivata in
regional
Sicilia.
organic surface in Sicily at the moment.
Il numero dei
the
operatori
number of
è cresciuto nell'ultimo anno in termini percentuali, ha avuto il maggior exploit rispetto a tutte le altre.
Very positive results if we compare that with all the other regions.
Instead, the number of preparators,
if compared to other regions in the north of Italy, is very limited. And this because, and we will see that later, this because it is linked to some weaknesses of Sicilian chains. The fact that Sicily is a producer of raw materials, so vegetables and fruits, but with a poor processing on products. So that's the performance of last year. You can see the comparisons between regions in the north, in the south, and in Sicily especially. So you can see the percentage of 21% in Sicily. And here we can see the number of organic operators that in Sicily is growing very fast and significantly. And what I want to outline is that the average surface in Sicily of organic companies is so much higher than the conventional companies, and this means that there's a huge structure of the companies. And during the last 2 years, we witnessed the process of aggregation of companies. So one of the main critical points is the extreme fragmentation. And these concern the topic of the internalization, the export, and this is a huge weakness of our system. That's a data linked to the organic sector. We have positive results, positive signals, because in the last few years we had an increase from 2 to 7 organization of organic producers, representing today 1% as a figure, and so represent in terms of turnover 7.5% of the entire group of organization. And these are figures given by the Department of Agriculture in the region, and it's approximately 24 billion euros. And we have another factor. We could see that the organic the organic Sicilian food is between 50 and 70 million thousand euros. Another figure, in Sicily we also witnessed some positive signals concerning the consumption. We had some increases, as we saw in the video, as to the educational farms and the organic companies, in order to be opened to the consumers, but also to schools and to organic shops. And the collective restoration seems to be not developed yet. And the same is with the farms and the direct shops for organic food. So, which are the strengths of organic in Sicily? First of all, the climate conditions that are quite favorable, and the weight of organic surface. So we had some laws that helped the organic sector in general in discussing about the models of intensive production. So we have new processes of conversion. We have a different production characterized by ague, value for money, and we also have a growth of the market of organic products in Sicily, and likely the consumer can access these products through the short supply chain, especially. Then there's the reinforcement of the typical organic link, so many typical productions are organic at the same time. And the organic is given through some initiatives of social agriculture. You see that in the video. For example, that was a company where actually we carried out some processes, some paths for some people with handicaps. And so these companies are very open to this kind of inclusion, and in effect Sicily has the great number of social companies. And then there's the organic sharing of groups of regional food and agriculture sector. We started to have some processes of requalification of the product as organic as well. What are the weaknesses? I won't talk about that in detail, but I would like to hear your voices, the voices of the people coming from abroad that know the Sicilian organic sector. The organic sector in Sicily is important for a turnover point of view, because it produces for many companies and gives the possibility to move away from the crisis that we had in the past. But it also has some advantages, as we mentioned before, from the point of view of the biodiversity and the environmental aspects. Just a couple of figures. A study made by the Department of Agriculture in Florence that underlined an increase of organic carbon in the companies. So there's a difference between carbon stocks that is 5.8 tons per hectare. We all know the importance that it has in terms of soils and in terms of importance for positive results on the environment. The other figure, a study from the GRA in Acireale, was a study of comparison between organic and conventional companies, and here again the figure was the same. So the organic companies with organic methods of agriculture had an increase, a significant increase of carbon stock compared to the traditional companies. The other element is biodiversity that is connected to the organic sector. So Sicily is very rich in biodiversity, and the model of organic agriculture is the best that we have in order to give value to these productions. Otherwise, we will lose them. Here we have some examples of fruits in the Etna area, produced on the Etna volcano. So we have apples and pears, for example, and thanks to the organic sectors, we developed these fruits. Here we have the production of table grapes in the province of Agrigento with innovative techniques, as the one we see here, and wine companies in the Etna area as well, that developed some excellencies in Sicily for the production of wine. This is in the province of Catania. Here we have some olive companies of the province of Syracuse. I'd like to show you these slides now that you see the landscape, the Sicilian environment, that even though has some negative aspects, it's very good for organic agriculture. Then we have a citrus and cereals company in the province of Catania, another cereal company in the Midlands of Sicily, and today we had the possibility to taste some productions of pasta and cereals coming from a particular kind of wheat, the Timilia organic wheat, that is very used in some organic companies. Then we have some citrus groves that are very particular, and here the typical productions, for example, the orange, the red orange of Sicily. I finished, so I'd like to thank you so much for your attention. Thank you, Francesco. Now I'll give the floor to Giovanni Daraguccione, that will talk about the wine in Sicily and olive sectors in Sicily.
I work for the Council of Research in Agriculture, CREA, that is a merge between NEA and another body. It's a part of the Ministry of Agriculture that works in many sectors. Particularly, I take care of the olive and wine supply chain in Sicily. The figures that you see in this slide are a summary based on Fausta statistics. This is a summary of the wine production business all over the world. Over 70% of production is performed in Europe, especially in Spain, Italy, and France. The other productions in other countries are not as big. The fourth ranking country is the USA, with 5% of cultivated soil. The same applies for organic oil. The most important countries in oil production are Tunisia and Italy, and then Greek, and then Tunisia. In Europe, we cultivate over 75% of the organic olive oil in the world. This is the current situation in Italy. As you can see, the most representative region is Puglia, and then Campania, and then Sicily. Wine production in olive represents 20% of the organic production in Sicily. So after cereal, that will be dealt with by Mr. Guarnaccia, wine and oil are the most important products, both for turnover and soil surface. Especially in Sicily, wine production business is essential. There are many wine producers that join the organic cultivation approach and they exploit the advantages of the organic brand, also in terms of economic benefits. This is the situation. It was the year 2012 and 2013. You see a positive trend. Organic is now one of the few economic sector in Italy that is recording positive results compared to other sectors that are now in a crisis, and so they are in recession. Organic production is a valid model to pursue, especially in these food sectors where it showed some growth. This is the impact of the wine production business. And you see the comparison between the region and Italy. You can see the wine production is recording significant figures. The organic wine production business uses 68,000 hectares of surface. That is 18.5% more than the previous year. The surface of the companies, they use traditional wine production methods is decreasing. The total surface dedicated to grape and wine production sees 11% dedicated to organic productions. In 2013, around 7% of the overall national surface is dedicated to organic food. In 2013, we recorded a production of over 1,150,000 tons of grape. As for the national production, the trend is positive. Organic oil production in 2013 was 7.5 million 0.75 tons. That is that 15% of the national production is organic. ISMEA, the Institute for Food Markets, saw that organic prices the organic food prices are 30% over national prices. One of the positive effects on the expansion of wine production and olive production with the organic method was the rural development program. This program greatly affected the application of this measure by the Sicilian farmers. You see that the surface in 2013 is around 209,000 hectares. That is around 19% of the overall surface. So there is a great attention towards this sector. Over 500 million euros were allocated for rural development programs in 2007-2013, and this contributed to fostering organic agriculture in Sicily, especially in these two sectors. This is a breakdown for the different Sicilian provinces. In Trapani, as for wine production business, we have a great surface dedicated to this production, that is 12,000 hectares, namely 60% of the entire production. As for olive oil, the most representative province is Palermo, with Trapani ranking number 2 for table olives. In fact, the Nocellara del Belice olive is the most famous one at regional level. I would like to highlight the strengths and the opportunities of wine production and olive production. As Ms. Francesca Ancona said, the methods and the techniques of organic agriculture are easy to implement because of the favorable climate. These techniques are export-oriented, especially in the wine production business. We have wine factories at the high end of the market that are recognized at international level. Some grapes, some Sicilian grapes are well known all over the world, including the Catarratto and the Nero d'Avola. Therefore, great quantities of product are produced and they can meet the needs of the international markets. Among the opportunities of the wine production business in Sicily, we can find a great increase in the consumption of organic wines in European countries. The VOC certification Sicily is recognized in international markets, and this can be branded with the organic wine. So there is a synergy between DOC and organic. There is the opportunity of developing sub-products coming from the wine. So this sector can increase its market share by reusing the wine sub-products. Financial resources for the agricultural and environmental activities will be significant also in the following year, and this will be very beneficial. We also have some company cases that will work as a good practice for the other companies. As for the olive production, there are important areas both for landscape and production too, and we are dealing with Madonie, Monti Siciliani, Altipiani Blei, Etna, all the natural parks where the environment is protected. And we have a great availability of surface to be used for organic production. We have a good image of quality regional production, so the synergy between DOP and organic. The organoleptic characteristics are well known all over the world. As for processing, there is a great availability of raw materials as well as a presence of processing facilities and certifications. My last slide is about the opportunities for the olive production sector. We stress the importance of the environmental function of the olive groves. It plays an increasingly important role, and it should be valued together with the organoleptic characteristic of the product and the implementation of the health claims related to olive oils. As you know, olive oils contains many vitamins and other elements that are beneficial for the human body. In the newly created IGP Sicily, we can find a contribution to better penetrate the international markets. Let's not neglect the other market opportunities provided by private labels that are increasingly growing. And as for oils, the use of subproducts in vegetation water for the production of makeup products is playing a vital role in the subproduct market. We also have a steady increase in the consumption of organic olive oil in the world. This is my last smile. I would like to address another topic mentioned by Francesco. That is the fact that many companies now can promote their brand through social agriculture, the fight against mafia, and other social activities. The brand Libera Terra, that most of you won't know, is a winning brand with great prospects and a growing turnover both for oil and wine. So I conclude and I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Giovanni. I would like to give the floor to Paolo Guernaccia of the University of Catania, who will talk about the cereal chain, organic cereal chains in Sicily. Apart from the surfaces of this sector, as we saw, these are the most extended surfaces for Sicily. This is an important sector for the effect of cereals on men's health. And I would like to say something before, and then I will not talk about the environmental aspects that you all know. The need to come back to a sustainable agriculture, because unfortunately today we are witnessing a use of resources in the planet that are there is no more sustainable, and doesn't take into account the potential of resources, and the agriculture has a negative impact on these negative results. So today we should rethink the way of producing in order to have better improvements, because we have a process of 3,050 and 500 kilometers from the ground, from the field to the table. We have some principles to respect as food safety and food security and food sovereignty that today we do not respect, that we do not promote, because we have the pollution of soil and waters, the contamination and problems with the availability of water. In Sicily, we have a problem related to the loss of fertility in the soil, the risk of erosion, and desertification. So that's why the organic can represent not only an opportunity to create a sector inside of the food and agriculture sector, but it should represent a perspective for the entire Sicilian agriculture, as it's the case in other countries of the world. And I would say that in Sicily we should have a project that could let us move towards the organic sector in Sicily. So these are the paradoxes that we have. We didn't solve the problems affecting hunger all over the world. 55% of cereals that we use are used to produce energy or to feed animals in the intensive markets, and we waste a huge quantity of food that would be necessary to feed those people who are suffering hunger all over the world. And unfortunately today many diseases, especially diseases such as diabetes or cardiovascular diseases, are linked to a phenomenon connected to the to our stomach. So our stomach is strictly connected to these diseases, and cereals play a very important role in this. And during the last 40 years, the cereals have been improved in order to improve the production, in order to improve the technological qualities. So, like this, companies can produce pasta at a very high temperature, but the pasta would not be so digestible. So that's the result of such processes. A few days ago, I had the conference here in Expo on this topic. So we should take a look at the new models, and I would like to continue by talking about the surface of cereals in Sicily. As you can see, is the highest surface, and here you can see the increases that Francesco mentioned before. In light green, the figures are related to 2012, in dark green 2013, and the cereals, that's the situation for the production of durum wheat that is used for pasta. And you can see the quantities produced in Sicily as well. Unfortunately, the supply chains for cereals are not well organized because the weight is not valued. We don't have a differentiated or stockage. And in Sicily, during last year, we are witnessing a true revolution around the old productions of Sicilian wheat, especially durum wheat. We have approximately 50 local populations that have been produced, that were part of the 300 local populations that were cultivated in Sicily 100 years ago. These are the faces of our farmers that are committed in this work. The land races, so these are not varieties, these are all races in Sicily. These are some of the most important cereals in Sicily, and we can see the strong link between man and nature and the biodiversity aspect, especially in in Sicily, we cultivated these races, and we recreated the history of these cereals, and we saw the organization of the most important races that we have in Sicily. So what about the research? The research is showing that these varieties, these races are well adapted to organic because they can easily be adapted to the environment and can be cultivated very well, especially if we put in the industrial system the feeding of animals, and they have a very high level of growth for plants, and this allows to avoid the use of pesticides, chemical pesticides, so it's very good for the organic sector. And these are very good for the processing, giving rise to some products that are very appreciated for their nutritional qualities, but especially because they have some components that the modern varieties have lost. And these are very helpful for man's health, and they also have some organoleptic qualities that are very good, the taste, the smell of pasta and bread that the new models have lost. So in the industrial milling, we eliminate from the wet the fats and the vitamins, so we are just eating refined amide. So these are the results that we have in our department. We studied the impact of this thing. We studied the organoleptic components, and in our pasta factory, in our bread factory, that is experimental, we are also producing some special products, and we are reaching very good qualitative results. And this is just to show you some results. So there's an advantage from the nutritional point of view, and we also have some inflammatory toxic substances in the modern wheat that determine the rise of some diseases. To conclude, this is just the last slide, and the old grains represent a very important occasion and a fundamental instrument connected to the genetic variability to be used in the programs that we are actually using. And what's happening in Sicily is that we are having some short supply chains where the producers work in stone millings and pasta factories in order to have a product that is absolutely interesting, because it starts from an ancient wheat and has been transformed according to the criteria of sustainability and man's health. And in Sicily, this is very important because this allows us to have a link with our cultural identity and to the holy aspects of food. So in Sicily, we have a history of 6,000 years that we want you to know, because we believe that this is our biggest richness. Thank you.
Thank you, Paolo. I would like to thank all the speakers so far, because you've provided a great overview of the organic production in Sicily. You not only dwelt on data, but also focused on the social aspects and health-related issues. these are important components for those who buy and sell our products, especially at international level. I work in marketing, and very often everything boils down to price and logistics, and we forget to let the consumer know what are the sacrifices, the story, and the culture behind the production of organic food in Sicily. So thank you once again. Let's now move on to a more commercial stage. I will leave the floor to Mr. Rosario Provino, the owner of EcoFruit. He will speak about organic fruit and vegetable chain in Sicily. He's been a trader his own life. So let's start with his speech and let's enter the trade. I invite all the guests, both Italian and foreigners, to be very frank about the trade and the relationship that you have with the Sicilian products and producers, because this is the only way to improve our products, our cultures, and this discussion is going to be useful if it is on a honest basis. I apologize because I had to take my car to move and get here. And this is strictly prohibited here at Expo. But I have to tell you, it was very confusing to get here by car. It was really challenging. I would like to continue what Mr. Guarnaggio said. And I attended a conference by Professor Berrino here, and he's always provides interesting insights. Berrino's culture is so comprehensive that it's always fascinating to listen to him. So I spent 2.5 hours listening to his speech, and 1.5 hours was dedicated to refined sugar. It is extraordinary for one person to be able to speak about sugar for 1.5 hours. But it's also extraordinary that people listen to it. And this shows that something is changing in the mind of people, that people are interested in the relations between health and food. And this is a part of the future for the organic sector, because our public, our consumers are more informed, more careful, and they compare. So they really get into what they're buying. Italy is the country not with the most surface of land dedicated to organic, but 80.7% of the land goes for fruit and vegetable organic production. And the other countries have figures like 6.1 and 3.6 for Spain. Sicily is the region that produces more organic food, but we are the ones that consume less. Mass distribution is the best consumer of organic food. On the shelves you can find organic products, but you really have to look for them, because they are not so widespread. It is impossible to do your shopping for food with completely organic products. And then the supermarket policies made the outlets realize that the organic is not that great of an investment, so they don't allow much space for it. I'm very well informed about the mass distribution supermarkets. We have some that are completely dedicated to organic food. There is one in Catania, three in Catania, one in Siracusa. And so Natura C has around 40 stores specialized in organic food. It's not a large presence. The Sicilian population accounts for 5 million people. And the per capita expense is not as much in Sicily as it is in other parts of the country. The positive and negative aspects. One of the advantages of organic food is that the young people is coming back to agriculture. New generations are now focusing their attention to farming, and when they do, they go for organic production. Sometimes we see some failures, but very often we have good case histories and good examples. Young people can see in the organic production the advantages. Many people is continuing the family business, introducing new elements, introducing new cultivation approaches, original approaches that you haven't seen in Sicily yet. As for fruit and vegetable production, we have a great biodiversity in Sicily. We grow apples on the Etna mountain, and they're not as big as the others, but they are exceptionally red and sweet. Then we produce all the other citruses and vegetables and fruit up to mangoes and some tropical fruit. This is a great advantage because customers, both at national and international level, can buy organic food from Sicilian producers because they can find a wide range of products. So it is easy to plan with the Sicilian supplier because they provide a wide range of SKUs and products. The trade structure is advanced in Sicily, but we are still very fragmented. We are lagging behind in the association, but we are working on it. We have Mr. Solarino and other representatives that have good businesses, but much still needs to be done. Organic food is sold, be it citrus or fruit or vegetable, is easily sold. Once you could recognize it because it looked uglier than the other products. Now, the markets require the product to be at the same level, both at the quality and the appearance. The consumer buys organic food because the appearance is the same, but it is traceable, it is checked, it was grown with organic techniques, so the consumer is sure that they are buying an healthy product with a low impact on the environment compared to the traditional products. This guarantee of quality and lower impact on the environment should be certified and sure. And this is crucial in my opinion. Being sure that when you buy a Sicilian product, you're buying organic food, it is a great value and a great leverage. And I would like to reiterate that we are an island. This can carry great disadvantages, but also great advantages, because at a certain point, you'll always get to the sea. Boundaries are certain, and we are surrounded by the sea. Why not declaring Sicily a GMOS land, like Hungary did, that is GMO-free? This is, again, a great leverage in marketing. If it's not genetically modified, the product in Sicily should be advertised in being so. And this, I think, will be of great help, in my opinion. Sicily produced almost everything and invested a lot of resources in some sectors and very few resources in others. It has been spending great financial resources on the red orange in Sicily. What are the results? We invested a lot in advertising and marketing and so on, and we had an increase in turnover only by 5%. I think it's a commercial failure, because the organically grown oranges are 20% of the market and no one invested on it. And this is a greater advantage. I believe that we didn't invest properly and we didn't convey the message of the difference between the organically grown oranges compared to the traditional one. I'm from the province of Palermo, and we focused on the cultivation of lemons, as we did when we abandoned the cultivation of lemon in Palermo. We now have to think about alternative cultivation. We need to focus on products like mangoes and avocados. We have some very small productions of mango. This is an economically exceptional product. The climate allows us to grow it very well, and we can take it farther on with its ripening. A mango coming from 7,000–8,000 kilometers away has a completely different footprint and impact compared to a mango grown in Sicily. The only weakness of mango is that it doesn't react very well to wind, and Sicily has got many windy areas, especially near Messina. But in some areas we are ripening good results. As for avocado, there is not the problem of wind, and the trade advantage is that it can be grown after in those lands where you used to grow oranges and lemons, because it requires the same climate and the same soil. Therefore, it can easily replace citruses. The advantages of avocado is that it starts from October to June. You don't need to harvest it right away. It can remain on the tree for 2 or 3 months, and we can harvest at a later stage of ripening. And the price on the market is stable. Persimmon, for example, is a very sensitive product on the market, because it doesn't last on the market. When you harvest it, you have to eat it in the same day. So it's very difficult to handle. Then we have the persimmon apple. I mean, Spanish people are great in cultivating all these products. You are mentioning all these fruits, but Spanish people were cultivating those 5-6 years ago. The apple persimmon is a regular persimmon with a different cultivation method. A production that is not new, but that we are lacking in organic production in Sicily is strawberry. There are just few examples of organic strawberry. Most of them come from Spain. We recover the Gandonga, that is an antique variety of strawberry that is a variety that needs not so many favorable conditions. We found out that the product is exceptional as for taste, smell, and the organic production of strawberry is half of the traditional one. Our production is 10-15% lower than the traditional one. This is not an exclusive action of ours. I believe that the entire sector has to grow. If Sicily is going to continue in being a great producer of traditional strawberry, it has to become also a great producer of organic strawberry. But I don't believe this should be a Sicilian exclusive activity. I would like to conclude by saying that we have to focus on almonds. California every year lowers its production because of lack of water. So 700-800% less is produced on the same surface. And this is very negative because the consumption, especially in the Asian country, is increasing. In Sicily, we have the ideal conditions for the cultivation of almonds. We grew almonds in places where it used to be impossible. I believe that beside the current varieties most in fashion, we need to recover the antique varieties from Sicily that provide the typical taste of the Sicilian almond. The Californian variety of almond lasts for 4 or 5 months, whereas other varieties can last far longer. Also, pistachios are to be taken into account. We produce pistachios also on the Etna, and it can be cultivated rationally and with mechanical techniques, and it can provide great benefits in those areas of Sicily that are inland and not on the coastline. Thank you, Rosario, for your overview on the subtropical fruits. I would like to leave the floor to Ms. Eike Hendricke, that is going to speak about the organic system in the German context. I asked you to speak very frankly because it's important for us to have clear ideas and good plans for the future. We need to understand what it's not working to improve.
And the delegation of Hungary has went away but asked the secretary of the workshop to have the technical references of the speakers, the Sicilian speakers, because the Ministry of Agriculture would like to organize an event like this and would like to have a representation of the organic delegation of Sicily. I've been working for 20 years in the organic sector, and I made every kind of work. Every kind of market, production, import, everything. I would like to talk, I beg your pardon for my Italian. The idea of the organic in Germany is quite different compared to what I see, to what I witness in Sicily and in Italy. The organic sector in Germany was born in the 80s with a big growth of wholesale producers, and we had so many young people that were unhappy on the waste of resources, natural resources from politics and economy. And this results from the loss of green areas that is huge in Germany. And according to that, we changed the idea on the environmental production in Germany. So the German market, because of what I've mentioned, is the biggest market in Europe. The biggest consumer of organic, not in the turnover, but in terms of consumption in Europe. And together with this political growth of the knowledge of consumers in the German market, it also grew the organic agriculture and the market. And we received in 2001, the peak when there was the scandal of the mad cow. And we are finally, we've always been the freaks, and the organic market in Germany had an increase of more than 50% in 2001. And we also have a growth. In 2014 it was just plus 5%, but it was linked to the decrease of prices in raw materials. So very low prices for oranges, for example. The market of organic in Germany has 4%. That doesn't seem to be so much, but it's quite great. The pioneering product has always been fruit and vegetables, because an organic shop, we have many specialized shops in Germany, you always have to be carrots and potatoes. These are the most pioneering products. And Germany had some limits and some advantages for the weather conditions because of rains and colds. Germany is always important fruit and vegetables from the south of Europe. And in the 80s, Germany was trying to find some producers in Sicily, in the south of Europe, and especially in Sicily, because they were producers that were willing to export abroad in Germany. And Sicily is great in terms of soil, climate conditions, knowledge on agricultural production, but especially the knowledge on organic production is not that good. Wasn't that good in the 80s, and today this is the case actually, because we cannot produce organic if we do not respect the environment. This is not connected to the organic point of view of German people, and this is my view. So I don't want to be offensive with you, but that's the reality. And the consumer of the fruit and vegetables expects product with zero impact and clean, healthy environment with a fair trade, and people want to be treated and paid honestly. We don't want those who went away from the north of Africa to harvest tomatoes until 12 o'clock at 30 degrees of temperature just because it's black. The producer, Sicilian producer, the one who makes the export, wants to be known by the consumer. It's a neighbor. I don't know if you understood, but the producer needs to be known for its brand and its packaging, and the production needs to be transparent, more transparent and visible. Sicily is far. It means that I expect to have more knowledge, and not just labeling and packaging, but just knowledge on the producer, the way they live, the way they work. Because every consumer wants to know, for example, the packaging of these particular kind of oranges or wherever. But allow me to say something. You're right, but maybe we will have the discussion later. I think that the Italian system, as it is right now, with big cooperatives, is wrong. The thought is to link producers and consumers. That's our thought. And there's no transparency on the production, according to me. Because just with the lot of the producer, I don't know who's the producer. I don't have the information that I need. I don't know who. I know the area, but this is not enough. So transparency is going away, and it's wrong to give money to the organic producers without having our own producers. They're responsible for the counseling and the money and the help with the infrastructures. So the duty of politics in Sicily is must be related to the producers, and this is my experience. we need to improve the infrastructure. For example, an internet line, a telephone line that could work every day, that can be reached for trucks, for every transport of products, of merchandise for the producers. And this is very important for me. The biggest competitor for Sicily is the Andalusia in Spain, with let's say, the same conditions that Sicily has in terms of weather. But the organic culture in Spain is supported by the region and the country of Spain. So, especially for the organic production. You said in a very in a very clear way what what we are not able to say. So, in the last incoming that we had last month with 32 operators coming from all Europe, there was Karina Rugerson, for example, with us, and some of the attendees of today. Somebody talked about packaging. We produce organic, but we do that, and then we represent it in a way that is not the way there is not how Germany would like it to be. This is not the case of my company, because my company is quite different. Is of cement in Italy, and he said we reduced the 20%, and we had some troubles. Tomorrow, this news will be published in one newspaper, and we will talk about that. And according to the big companies that you mentioned, because you said small companies have more credits in Germany, we can also give credit to the big companies, but we can do that if we use some strict laws and measures, because the big company, the critical mass, often this critical mass comes from different places in order to create this mass. So if we have a strict law as we have it in Spain or in other parts of Europe, we could obtain some big profits from the point of view of the work. And thankfully, as Mr. Provino said, we are a beautiful land. Thank you so much.
I would like to greet the friends from Rome. I would like to complete all the speeches first, and then we can leave the discussion at the end. So let's give the chance to all the speakers to provide their speech. So I would now leave the floor to Elsa Pluquet by Terra Bio, who's going to talk about the BioSicilia system in the European context in the case of Belgium and France. Buon pomeriggio a tutti, sono Elsa e vengo dal Belgio, sono di Bruxelles. Lavoro nel cuore di Bruxelles con mio padre.
the project that we are doing there, and also in the second part of the presentation I will explain maybe the partnership we have with Agrinova Bio 2000 and also other cooperatives in Sicily and in Italy. So I'm sorry, my English is not very well, and I'm listening so much Italian, so I'm mixing a bit everything. So I will go quickly for the presentation because I know time is running. So maybe up. Where did it go? Oh. Okay. So we are working with an organic market. It's mainly fruit and vegetable, fresh ones, and we try to very large quantities of vegetables to to have, this is I don't know sorry, this way we try to show people that it's possible to sell organic food with a very good price and very fresh one and very good qualities. So this is a little bit, this is yes, maybe. So you see on the left all the apples. During the season in Belgium, we sell mainly 1 ton of apples per week. So very large quantities. Also, we sell some bread and also dry products, so like rice, lentils, and also dry fruit like we also yes, sorry, I just forget my vocabulary. Yes, as nuts, nuts, Brazil nuts, also cashew nuts, and you see all the barrels. It's about 2.5 tons per week. So very, very big quantities. We sell around 150 kilos of almonds for 1 week. So this is just a short presentation, and the philosophy of this market is to present to the consumer the basic food, organic, with very good prices. So we try to do this, we try to go directly to the producer, mainly in Belgium, so we're trying to do the most local, the short way to the producer, to have better prices and to be able to give to the producer a decent price and to make this market sustainable and durable in long term. So we also so we have good prices with the producer, and so we can have very good prices for the consumer. So this is just for fun, but it's a part of the team. So I will just have a quick history of this market. So this market was created in 2007 by Antoine and Anne-Marie Guccione. They were a part of Mandala Organic Growers, so a cooperative which wanted to promote the work of producer, mainly in Italy and in Sicily, by exporting all these products to the English market, first of all. And then they try also to do the same thing in Brussels. And they start very small. It was 2 days a week, and it was mainly Sicilian product, and also some product of the very local producer around Brussels. So it was very a good way to reconnect the consumer to the producer. And when the English market fall down, and for personal reason, they stopped these activities, and that's when my father and I went to Brussels. And yes, my father is for 30 years in the organic market. He was a producer. He was conditioning organic products for the supermarket, and then he did also expertise, and so he thought maybe a small market for my final days, that would be great. And so I joined him for this this project, and in 2009. We took back this market, and we took the same philosophy. So really, our goal is to show to consumer good products with good price and good quality. My father, like, he was working for the supermarket. He had a very good knowing of what quality means, and also all the rigor that they are behind to present this product to supermarkets. So he had this, like, he was producer, he knew big quantities, make it more easier to sell than very small one. So the original idea is to present the product in very large quantities. So like you saw on the picture, we put more or less 1 ton of agrumes on the shelves. Like, so it's mountains of agrumes, mountains of avocados, and we kept all the same producer as the beginning. So as we grew up, we didn't change anything. We just like tried to keep going, trying to take the producer with us, and also take some more and integrate them in this very short line of, like, producer to the consumer. So the philosophy is 100% of the products are organic, and they are 100% certified. It's just a choice. It's not. It's just to show to the consumer that when they can be sure it's organic and it's certified. I think that in the organic market in global, the question now is the I don't know in English, but the credibility of the organic, because there is so much certification, so much information about it, and the consumer is just swimming around and he doesn't understand anything. So it's just a quick and simple sorry, it's very quick and simple message. It's organic and we certified it. So it's large quantities of fresh fruits and vegetables, like I said. We try to make it the more direct to the consumers. It's local and seasonal products. So that's also important to improve, and also to I don't know either. No, I'm mixing all my language, so sorry. No. It's also very important to sustain the local. I don't know, sustain, but yes. Oh, yes, support. Yes. Sorry. So the local one is very important, and like maybe in Germany, during the winter we have, you know, cabbage. So it's very carrots also. So yes, also, but not so many. So so that's the original part of this project. It's when it's out of season, we are working indirect also, because we are contacting directly the cooperative with Sicilian cooperatives for all the agrumes, but also zucchini, melanzane, you know, finocchio, peppers. So we try to complete all the offer we have in Belgium with Sicilian products. And that's the good part, because then when it's finished in Sicily, it starts in Belgium. So we have a 1 year offer, and it's very great because we are still indirect, so we have good prices still, even if there is a transport between, but it's still a very good combination. And then, yes, I don't know all the. And then when it's the season products are always put in the front. So this is just one varieties of apples that are produced near Brussels. It's called Pirouette, and it's just this winter we sell them 1 ton per week. It's like also we did with agrumes. We're also indirect with Agrinova Bio to do Emile, and you can see we were about 3 tons per week also, with a very good price. I don't know if you see, but it's €1.50 per kilo. So the goal for us is not to make money for the bio, but just to show to the people that it's possible to have good prices and a very good quality. We are, just for the story, we are in a zone in Brussels that's not very, people are not very rich. So it was a challenge for us to bring people there, because it's not in their habits to buy organic products. And to show you some, I don't know, all the DIY. Okay, no, it's not this one. So just a few numbers, but that's the first year we started from this small market. My father and I tried to develop it in Belgium and also in Sicily. And so in the first year, it was 2010. We had 498 clients. It's a mean number per week. And you can see in 2015, we have till now, because this is a 6 months mean, but it's 4,821 clients per week. So in 5 years, we did a very, very big growth. So we started, we were 5, now we are 50. So just for the story. So this is also the mean tickets. So one, I don't know if it's, yes. So it's just to show you that from the beginning we started at €20. We were mainly with fruit and vegetables, so it's not very high prices. And now we are at €28.5 per ticket. So that means that we are fidelizing the clients and also offering a little bit more. And now we can see in the market that people that usually go to supermarket to buy conventional products come to us to say, yes, I can buy organic products for the same prices. So that's great. I don't have any reason to not buy organic products. So I think it's very a good sign. And so for the partnership with mainly Agrinova Bio 2000, so Hup. So for the organization, so mainly we are working with Agrinova for the fruit and vegetables, but we are also working with Valdibella for wine, for the olive oil. For example, we sell 1,000 liters of olive oil for 3 weeks. So, and it's all in vrac. I don't know in English. Bulk? No. People come with, yes, in loose. So they come with their bottles and they fill it, and we have, a big one, and they can fill it. So we are also trying to avoid all packaging, so everything is in loose. Even the wine. We are doing around also 1,000 liters of wine per week. And it's per month. Sorry. Yes, per month. No, thank you. Maybe what I can say about our partnership, for us it's very important because it's our specialty. This product that we have also with Agrinova, but with Valdibella, with Montebello, we have other one. They are very special. They are not so, we don't find it anywhere else in Brussels. So we are quite like the special one. And like, as we are organizing all the transport, and we can have very good prices, and it's and so people, even if they don't know, they try, and when they try, they're just like, it wasn't so bad, maybe I can, and then after a few weeks they say, but I don't need to go to the supermarket anymore, it's really crazy. And we have a very good quality, but very good quality of olive oil, and we can have a very good prices. So that's the good point. And if I have to speak about, I'm convinced that the organic market is getting more and more famous. More and more people just want to buy organic because, everyone buy organic now. In Brussels, it's like, we are the place to be. It's not really not our goal, but I think it's important for the producer, it's important to try to find direct issues to sell products. So and try to build very short chain, and like my colleague here was saying, lying the producer and the consumer. Like, we are working with Agrinova for 5 years. Now you can see all around the cities Agrinova boxes everywhere. And each year, when can we have the avocados? They know the product, they know where they come from, and they know this one is better than the other one. They are waiting for it, and that's like, it's also important to make seasonality and to learn and to teach the consumer that it's it's important to respect that, and also to respect the work, but to respect the seasonality. Then you will have more pleasure to find again the products the next year. So for now, we are not selling apples anymore. We did with the north of Italy with Fiorina. We did also with La Gala. And now it stopped. We have finished with our producer, and then that would wait till September with the Belgian one. And then when we finish the Belgian one, we will do the Italian one, and then we stop. And when the consumer just find again the apples, it's just, yes, the apples are back. And it's make all the experience and also for the consumer to change the habits of consuming and also to be able to speak about what they are eating, and they find back the way to the kitchen, the way to transform themselves the product and to, try again new taste it and refine the taste it. So that's now I'm finished. And if you just have 1 minute for the small, we did a small film 2 weeks ago, and that's just like, don't listen to music, it's awful, but it's just to show you a little bit of our reality.
Congratulations for what you did, because in a moment of crisis, when we say that there are very bad situations in Italy and outside of Italy, it is good to see a philosophy like this, based on quality but also on money. And we saw people that are not that rich, and actually they can buy organic, and this could be a very good weapon in order to use organic food, not only for rich people. We saw in Germany that lemons had a very high price. It was quite 10 euros per kilo. But if we can promote the organic food at a low, but let's say fair price, that could allow consumers to buy organic. So maybe this would be positive for the environment, for the producers, but especially for consumers, because we have to eat healthy. And this is why Italy built the expo on this topic, to feed the planet. So I will give the floor to Stefano Cattori from Linea Bioverde. He will talk about the BioSicilia system in the European context in the case of Switzerland. Thank you so much. And good afternoon. I would like to thank you for the possibility that you gave me. I would like to say that the experience of Switzerland that I can mention is strictly connected to the Italian experience, because we manage the organic production in the Italian Switzerland, and that has approximately 4,000 inhabitants, so less than many Italian cities. In 1986, we were just an agricultural company, and at that time we were afraid of selling these organic food because we thought that that could be dangerous for our health. And so in our area, we started to create a direct line for our products and create our channels of for the selling of products. And for us, the fruit and vegetable sector is central. And we have every week an offer of 140 goods. We do not sell packaged food, just in food in box. And we have, so I said, 140 goods that can be used within 24 hours, so fresh products. And then we have 8,000 goods that can be used within 48 hours. And so that's the situation with the wholesale producers in Switzerland. So we have approximately 180 customers with whom we work, and they are distributed in specialized shops for the organic food. So markets, then we have the restaurants, collective restaurants, so canteens, school canteens, institutions, schools, and etc. And companies for the processing of food, especially artisanal companies producing milk or organic ice cream. And we also have we also give our products to purchase groups, and this project is very important for us and includes 1,300 families. We also have the participation of other wholesale producers, and we work in the big distribution. Our logistics center is in Cadenazzo, in the heart of the Ticino, so the Italian part of Switzerland. This is an image of our storage and the vehicles for the distribution. We have a storage of 1,500 square meters. We have 6 areas of temperature in order to manage every product with its own specificities. We have 5 trucks for the distribution at a controlled temperature, and we have 8,000 furnitures every year for a total of 2,000 tons of goods distributed every year. So what's the difference between Linea Bioverde and the other wholesale producers? We do not work on figures and numbers, but first of all, as we mentioned before, we just work with products from biological organic agriculture, and this is quite unique because today the organic food in Switzerland is quite everywhere. Just think about the market of Switzerland that represents 2.2 billion francs of organic products. So it's a big production if we compare that with other productions. And last year figures say that 5% of the entire population buys organic food, and then we have many discount shops, discount markets in Switzerland. The biggest is, for example, Migros, and we have huge supplies of products, and they are organic. And another thing it's the choice of products on the basis of their origin. And Switzerland is close to the German culture because the organic food has been developed for many reasons that are similar to what Odin said before. And I have to say that there's a huge attention that is paid not only on health but also on the environment, so an interest on the origin of products. There's a great sense of the local product, and the origin for us is very important. We start from the local product. For example, in our canton, when this product is not available, we take it outside of our canton, but in Switzerland. And the weather is important for us, and the season. The short supply chain is essential for us as a guarantee of quality and as a way of reducing costs, because this doesn't mean necessarily what we produce at home, what we produce close to our place, but this has some consequences on the quality of products, because there is a small manipulation on the product, little manipulation on the product. And for example, if I talk about the avocado, I can say that the best harvest of avocado is very good if the avocado is harvested when it's ripe, and so this is better for us because everybody can know the product in the best possible way, and we have very strong relationships and long-lasting relationships with our producers, and we do not work on the basis of a price, but we actually are trying to work with our producers in a productive way. We have contacts in Sicily and in other places in Italy, and we've been working with our producers for 5, 10, 15 years, so we are working and we are trying to support our producers, our best producers, and maybe we find some agreements on the price, on the quality, and we try to solve the problems that producer may have in order to have a good quality. And so we are looking for high quality products, and this doesn't mean that they have to be beautiful or perfect, but actually they have to be valid from an organoleptic point of view, because that's the only way to have contacts with our customers and to be trusted by them and to have loyal relationships. Another criterion that we have is that we try to have companies of processing that actually process just one organic product. This is what we try to do. And in Switzerland, the organic sector has always been a criterion of production. So there's just the exclusive aspect for the organic companies in our country, and this is related to the size of this country. And so usually our companies are no more bigger than 10 hectares. And so these are important differences on the basis of the size of our country. So what are the advantages for our customers? Obviously, the possibility to know and have contacts with the producers, because We do not hide the origin of our products.
A further advantage is to have local products. As I said, we still have a short supply chain, and so we guarantee freshness and taste of the products. We also offer consumers organic mass products. So when we speak about wine or cheese or oil, we are dealing with mass consumption products. But also for other products, as we saw in the speeches of the colleagues, there are some types of vegetables and fruits that have ancient varieties. We heard about the ancient cereals, and I think that there are similar examples as far as fruit and vegetables are concerned. This picture shows consumers visiting a farm. This is an activity that we carry out with consumers. This is a field of a flower that we cultivate, and it's very useful to regenerate the soil and to develop useful insects like bees and the other positive insects. We provide some advantages for our suppliers too. We offer the possibility of planning productions as we work on long-term relationship. We are loyal toward our suppliers, and our suppliers know exactly what we want. We decide jointly the prices. The price is not the unique and crucial feature of our negotiation. Moreover, producers have the ability of trading even niche product. Producers can try and cultivate some special product, or they have the opportunity of selling productions that at small quantities or short period of time. This is something that mass distribution cannot guarantee. A further advantage is that the name of the producer, the name of the producing company will be known to the customer. And so this provides a further responsibility on the shoulder of the producer, because the consumer chooses the supplier, the producers, and knows the name. And I think this is an important point. Our experience with the foreign markets, we started at the end of the 90s, and we looked for importers. Sicily was the first region where we started to buy products from abroad. We needed to compensate for the lack of vegetable production during the winter period. There are products that are not seasonal products anymore in our country, but they start being grown in Sicily. And then at that time, in Sicily, there were companies and cooperatives with the BioSicilia certification. That was important because it provided more trust among the consumers. Strengths of our cooperation with Sicilian farms and other regions. We cooperate with different regions, and we believe that Sicily has got certain strengths. I don't want to repeat what the other colleagues already said, but many companies in Sicily have the BioSwiss certification, so this builds the trust in the consumer. Moreover, some things that we consider strengths can be viewed as weaknesses by the Sicilian people. We see cooperation between the company and the consumers with the Sicilian companies. We found the willingness to cooperate. We believe we can improve it, but compared to other regions in the south of Italy, we found a spirit for innovation and cooperation in Sicily with no comparison. And we met company with a human side. We had great human contact and direct relations with all the companies in Sicily. And we found the tendency and the willingness to research and develop new products. The example of the avocado is self-explaining. We used to sell it very little because it was an exotic product. The consumer was avoiding such product because of the short shelf life. But the ability of finding such product in Sicily allowed us to offer it to our consumers and to include it in the range of products that we sell from October to May, and they come from Sicily. To conclude, I would like to say that the Swiss consumer, the Italian Swiss consumer, trusts the organic Sicilian products, and we need to preserve this trust because it lays the foundation and it paves the way for the organic product in Sicily. Trust is crucial for sustainability too. It's important to notice that compared to 20 years ago, in Switzerland, consumers of organic food are more and more careful of the sustainability and the social responsibility of the producer, of those who process and transport these products. They aim at doing something tangible for the environment we live in. And I would like to show you this slide where you can see a website page of the Swiss Coop supermarket. Their wide spectrum campaign on sustainability is called Actions and Not Words. They provide over 250 examples of sustainability, of the meaning of sustainability for consumers. This is the point of view of the entire Swiss society, of what the Swiss citizens want to find in the products, including imported products. This is the main point, and I don't want to repeat what has already been said. What can Sicily do to improve their competitiveness? Is basically what was said by my German colleague. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you for this very interesting intervention, a presentation on the reality in Switzerland, and especially according to these relationships between producers and consumers. One of the most important things, in my opinion, is what you said, that the product keeps the name of the producer up to the sell point. And this is very important because often we say that the consumer wants to know who's the producer, but actually during the supply chain, often the identity of the product for some interests gets lost. And this philosophy that tries to keep the name, the passport of the producer, in order for him to be responsible for a good result, a positive result on the market, is very important. I'm very grateful. I would like to give the floor to Karina Rutgerson, working for the Prodiva Society in Paris, one of the most important markets of Europe. She will talk about the distribution of fruit products in France. Thank you. I beg your pardon, but I would like to speak in French. First of all, I would like to thank you for inviting me in this event that is quite important. I would like to introduce myself. I'm Karina Rutgerson. I'm working in the market of Paris. I work in the biology in organic agriculture. I was organic producer in Argentina. I work in import-export in the wholesale market and specialized for supermarkets. Excuse me for the level of the Italian, but we're Sicilian, so never mind. Passo al francese perché è più semplice per me. La mia idea era quella di presentare una strategia di marketing e di presentarvi un po' i cambiamenti che ci sono stati nel mercato francese.
C'est un marché qui a été très long d'abord, en comparaison avec l'Allemagne. C'est un marché qui a démarré plus lentement avec la consommation de produits bio et qui aussi a été très long à convertir la surface en agriculture biologique. Alors, la première chose que je dis toujours à un producteur, c'est à qui va vendre son produit. Définir vraiment sa chaîne commerciale, si c'est la grande distribution, si c'est un magasin spécialisé, si ce sont des indépendants. Aujourd'hui, j'ai retenu la biodiversité de la Sicile, quelque chose qui est vrai et qui est très beau. Par contre, si on ne peut pas vendre la biodiversité, si les clients ne peuvent pas l'identifier, quand on parle de beaucoup de noms de variétés de pommes ou de poires qui existent dans l'Etna, les consommateurs français ne reconnaissent pas ça. Et je parle de les supermarchés. Si on les sort d'une variété comme la conférence, un poire, après, ils ne savent pas qu'est-ce que c'est le reste. Alors, quand je dis que le producteur doit vraiment se poser la question à qui il va vendre et comment on va les vendre, je parle de ça. Le deuxième point que je voudrais relever, c'est comment positionner les produits. Aujourd'hui, il y a un code de marketing qui a changé. Chacun de vous a remarqué que le message aujourd'hui est bien différent que le message des années 80, que le message de l'année 2000. Et que le client, le consommateur final a évolué. Et aujourd'hui, il y a des autres motivations pour acheter un produit bio. Ah, ne change pas. Hop, mince. Voilà. Une petite introduction justement pour dire que le marché français a trouvé une dynamique les années à partir de 2007. Jusqu'avant, c'était un marché assez calme, pas très intéressant, un marché qui était plutôt importateur. Aujourd'hui, ce marché a vraiment changé. La quantité d'exploitation bio a grandi. Vous avez parlé... Francesco, scusi, tu mi hai detto la superficie d'Italia totale è 1800 milioni e mira la superficie biologica in Francia è di 1.120.000. È molto importante. Una cosa che è buona è che tengo lo dato del mese di maggio. Scusi, je reviens en français, désolé. Je reviens en français. Ouais. Le mois de mai, on a obtenu toutes les statistiques de l'année 2014 et la tendance 2015. Ça veut dire que c'est très frais, que ces valeurs que je vous présente aujourd'hui sont vraiment d'actualité. Les marchés français représentent aujourd'hui 5 milliards d'euros. Il y a une augmentation de 10% par rapport à l'année 2013. Et le produit bio représente le 2,5% de la consommation française totale alimentaire. Par contre, il y a deux secteurs qui sont de plus en plus importants, c'est le lait et les œufs. Une caractéristique du marché français, c'est qu'il est, le circuit de commercialisation est vraiment très atomisé. En fait, on a les 46% des grandes surfaces, les supermarchés. Après, on a le 28 plus les 7,5% des magasins spécialisés. Ça représente les 36% en magasins spécialisés. Ces 28% sont des magasins qui sont en chaîne, que jusqu'à, on va dire, l'année 2010, achetaient sur les marchés de franchise. Aujourd'hui, ils se sont organisés en structure d'achat, en petite plateforme d'achat, quelque chose qui a changé aussi pour vous les producteurs. Après, on a les 13,3% qui sont des producteurs directs, les AMAP, les structures de producteurs qui arrivent à vendre directement, quelque chose qui est assez important aussi, et un 5% qui représente les produits surgelés. Qu'est-ce que j'ai fait au cours de ces dernières années? Si vous regardez bien la flèche, quand on a commencé le marketing des produits bio, on parlait du produit. Le goût du produit, la valeur du produit, la qualité du produit. Après, on a commencé à parler de l'expérience cliente. Pourquoi un client est motivé pour acheter, qu'est-ce qu'il a envie, qu'est-ce qu'il ressent quand il achète. Et aujourd'hui, on parle d'une valeur sociale, que c'est les valeurs humaines, l'ambiance, l'environnement, le bilan carbone. Ça veut dire qu'on a passé d'un objet, on peut le dire comme ça, un produit, à une valeur unitaire et individuelle, à une valeur des sociétés. Quelque chose qui est important aujourd'hui pour les messages qu'on doit donner autour de notre produit. La deuxième chose, c'est que soit dans la première ligne, vous trouvez tous les supermarchés, presque tous en France, Inter, Lidl, Franprix, Carrefour, Leclerc, Super-U et tout ça. Le message est toujours le même. C'est la valeur du produit. Mieux vivre, mieux être. Vraiment, qu'est-ce qu'on fait pour l'environnement. Et si on passe aux chaînes, des magasins spécialisés comme Biocoop, Naturalia, Natureo, Biosebon et tout ça, c'est pareil. On reprend toujours la même chose. Les valeurs à la fin sociales. Je voudrais faire un petit point justement sur les chaînes. Que, comme je vous disais avant, pas Biocoop, mais les autres chaînes trouvaient ces produits à franchise. Aujourd'hui, le franchise a du mal à exister, pas tout simplement pour les bio, mais aussi pour les conventionnels, parce que les chaînes se structurent en achat direct chez les producteurs. Chacun de ces chaînes a trouvé un argument de vente et tous les arguments sont bons. En fait, on s'est rendu compte que d'abord Biocoop était un fondamentaliste du bio, c'était plus bio que le bio, c'était vraiment une stratégie très de droite, très radicale, voilà, en saison et tout, et ça marche. Il a présenté sa chiffre, et si vous voyez bien, il fait 657 millions d'euros. Et il a eu une augmentation de 13% de sa chiffre d'affaires. Mais je vous demande de regarder la quantité de magasins qui ouvrent par an. Si, c'est un magasin, plus d'un magasin par mois. Si, è énorme. Sì, et pour l'année 2015, il prévoit l'ouverture de 20 magasins. Ici, on trouve deux magasins qui sont différents, aussi des chaînes spécialisées, qui ont choisi des autres stratégies. Le premier, c'est un magasin très très moderne, ça s'appelle Naturalia. Il appartient au groupe Monoprix. Son histoire, c'est de dire que le produit bio ne doit pas être ennuyeux, n'appartient pas au baba cool typique hippie des années 80. Il faut imaginer que le consommateur Naturalia est né en 1973. C'est le plus vieux chaîne de magasins en France. Et on va dire qu'aujourd'hui, les premiers consommateurs de Naturalia ont ces enfants qui sont aujourd'hui des adultes consommateurs. Et alors, ils ont transformé tous les messages de l'époque hippie de consommation bio à une consommation très moderne, sympathique, fin, voilà. La troisième enseigne s'appelle BioSicilia. On les appelle les champignons de Paris parce qu'ils disent qu'ils ouvrent un magasin tous les 2 jours. À nouveau, on part sur 15, la première c'est 15 ouvertures par an en l'année 2014 et le deuxième, il va ouvrir 24 magasins l'année qui vient, le mois qui vient. BioSicilia, c'est une stratégie qui ressemble beaucoup au travail qui fait Elsa en Belgique et c'est un travail d'un produit, un bon produit qui est très accessible à un bon prix et qui rassure la traçabilité avec les producteurs et les justes paiements aux producteurs. Dans le cas de Naturalia, ils font quelque chose qui est très intéressant, c'est avoir des vendeurs spécialisés qui font conseil en naturopathie, qui font conseil en alimentation, qui font conseil en diététique. Les choses que je voulais dire, c'est que chacun son stratégie, mais que toutes les stratégies marchent et le marché français est très dynamique et très porteur. Bon. Moi, je suis une petite mauvaise nouvelle pour le producteur italien. La France était un grand importateur de produits en provenance d'Italie et depuis de l'Espagne. Mais il y a eu beaucoup d'aides à la conversion des surfaces. Il y a eu une grande campagne de communication de la part des supermarchés pour consommer local, de la part du gouvernement aussi pour consommer la production française. Et tout ça, depuis quelques années, a donné un changement des achats par la part des supermarchés, des chaînes et tout. Et aujourd'hui, la France fournit les 76% de tous les produits consommés en bio en France. Le reste, c'est pour l'Union européenne et les produits en dehors de l'Union européenne. Il y a des produits où la France est autosuffisante, par exemple les vins, presque le lait, les œufs, les viandes, le pain. Reste encore un importateur de légumes et de fruits et des produits de la mer. Les choses que je voudrais dire aux producteurs italiens, et je reprends aussi un peu les choses qu'a dit ma collègue d'Allemagne, c'est qu'aujourd'hui, ils doivent être plus réactifs et plus attentifs à la fenêtre des ventes ou d'achat, on peut les voir des deux côtés, parce que le marché est plus compétitif et plus réduit aussi, la fenêtre est plus réduite, et il doit être prêt à apparaître au bon moment. Ça veut dire quand il apparaît, moi je mettais l'exemple, je demande un échantillon et des fois il a besoin de 12 semaines pour me la faire arriver. Il a perdu 12 semaines de vente. Et quand le marché, la fenêtre est tellement petite, on ne peut pas se permettre ça. Quelque chose que l'Espagne sait faire mieux. Je voudrais aussi que vous fassiez attention à un secteur qui est le secteur de la restauration. Quand je parle de ça, je parle des hôpitaux, des écoles, des prisons et tout. C'est tout nouveau en France et une évolution énorme. La première, c'est que il y a 8 millions de Français qui tous les jours mangent dehors et qui mangent soit en restauration collective, soit en restaurant. Et que les 3 dernières années, ces marchés explosent. Par exemple, aujourd'hui aussi, je donnais 12 exemples. Non? Quand on parle d'Italie, on parle de tomates. Et quand on a besoin d'offrir des tomates à la restauration collective, l'Italie n'a pas d'offre. Pourquoi? Parce que l'Italie a les tomates grappes, qui est super bon, mais les tomates grappes ne sont pas adaptées pour ce type de clients. Ce type de client a besoin d'un tomate individuel parce qu'il faut le vendre à l'unité, qui soit calibré, ça veut dire un tondolice ou un tomate ronde. Alors, je voulais dire aux producteurs qui sont là qu'il faut être attentif à ce type de demande parce qu'aujourd'hui, depuis 2 ans ou 3 ans que nous, les acheteurs, on les dit on a besoin d'un tomate individuel ronde, vous n'avez pas une offre, il y a quelqu'un d'autre qui a placé son offre. Et c'est trop tard. Une autre chose, le producteur d'orange, aujourd'hui, par exemple, doit être, si l'Italie a encore envie de vendre ses oranges, ces marchés, c'est un gros acheteur d'oranges. Il faut préparer ces oranges pour un calibre industriel. Ça veut dire on ne peut pas travailler les calibres, je ne sais pas, 8 ou 4, il faut travailler tous les calibres 6 ou 7. Mais quand on est préparé pour faire ça, on vend des camions, et des camions complets. Et alors, on vend des litres et des litres de jus d'orange. Mais il faut être préparé pour ce marché parce qu'il est vraiment porteur. Et je vous montre l'intention d'achat pour l'année 2015. L'intention d'achat de toutes les institutions est autour de 60%. Et les produits qui seront introduits, et c'est toujours les mêmes, c'est le lait, le fruit et les légumes. Voilà. Une autre chose, je pense aujourd'hui qu'on a énormément de moyens de communiquer, qu'il ne faut pas négliger ces moyens, que quand vous êtes structuré en des groupes de producteurs ou quand il y a une région comme la Sicile qui est vraiment active pour aider les producteurs à communiquer autour de ces produits, il ne faut rien négliger. En France, il y a un événement qui dure 15 jours, qui vient de se passer maintenant. C'est la première quinzaine du mois de juin, chaque année, qui s'appelle le printemps bio. Le printemps bio, c'est un moment spécial pour venir à vendre. Parce qu'il y a des animations dans les magasins. Vous pouvez faire des animations chez vos distributeurs. Vous pouvez faire des animations dans les écoles et en vente directe. Vous pouvez inviter un programme de télévision en Sicile pour cuisiner avec les vues de la mer et les oranges autour de vous et tout ça. Et il ne faut rien négliger de tous ces systèmes de communication. Et pendant 15 jours, à la radio, vous voyez la quantité de chaînes qui ont diffusé le printemps bio. C'est RTL, Chérie, Europe, voilà. Et plus France 5, avec un programme de cuisine dédié au bio pendant 15 jours, sont des choses qu'il faut peut-être envisager pour l'année prochaine. Je vous ai signalé quelques événements pour venir communiquer en France votre produit. C'est le printemps bio, évidemment. Techan bio, que c'est un événement très technique. La 5e édition de la fête de la gastronomie, où on peut déguster énormément de produits. Natexpo, que c'est un salon professionnel. Marjolaine, que c'est un salon pour les particuliers. Et le salon du vin bio. Quand on parle du consommateur, c'est les choses que je disais d'abord. Les consommateurs qui a commencé avant les années 2000 parler de la sécurité alimentaire, avec les problèmes de la vache folle et les dioxines. Et aujourd'hui, ce même consommateur a évolué et il veut aussi la sécurité ambientale. Il veut un produit qui protège la planète, qui protège les ressources d'eau, les bilans. Pareil pour la santé. D'abord, il était préoccupé pour la pollution, la quantité de pesticides. Aujourd'hui, il sait que le produit bio est libre de pesticides. Et alors, à partir de ça, il veut une autre chose de plus, c'est que ce produit soit associé à la saisonnalité, à une identité, à un bien-être et à un produit qui le ressemble. Le troisième, c'est le goût. On disait oui, le produit bio est récolté à maturité, il est meilleur, il est bon. Aujourd'hui, on le sait déjà que le produit bio, il est très bon. Mais aujourd'hui, il veut aller encore plus loin. Il veut aller sur le goût de l'autre. Ça veut dire savoir que derrière, il y a un homme qui va produire ça, qu'il y a une histoire qui va produire ça. Et c'est pour ça qu'il s'organise avec les SAMAP et avec des achats groupés. Les emballages. Et voilà, et c'est là que, je reprends un peu les choses qu'on avait vues déjà en Sicile pendant la visite qu'on a fait avec des autres acheteurs au mois de mai, c'était ça. C'est la réduction d'emballage. La Sicile est endormie. Est vraiment endormie. Il nous envoie toujours la même barquette plastique et tout. Bien que nous sommes les mauvais, nous sommes les supermarchés, alors c'est plus difficile. Mais je pense qu'aujourd'hui, si on regarde les choses que fait les États-Unis, l'Angleterre, je pense qu'en GMS, en grande surface, on peut faire mieux, on peut vraiment réduire les emballages. Et je pense que la Sicile doit vraiment se booster un petit peu pour nous présenter des choses différentes. Et avoir un bon produit, et il ne faut pas oublier ça. Il ne faut pas s'asseoir non plus sur les produits. Je pense que l'identité italienne doit être encore mise en avant. Le Made in Italy fonctionne. La Sicile fonctionne encore dans la tête du consommateur. Sauf que si on ne les communique pas, si on ne les présente pas, les consommateurs changent et ils basculent sur l'Espagne. Alors, avoir toutes ces variétés, je reviens sur l'exemple de la pomme ou de la poire, ou même sur l'orange. Si on ne trouve pas une vraie identité, c'est mieux dire la pomme de l'Etna que nous envoyer tous les noms de variétés qu'on n'arrive pas à reconnaître. Alors, je pense qu'il y a un travail à faire, que vous avez quelque chose de gagné déjà, que c'est le nom, la reconnaissance du client final, mais qu'il faut retravailler encore cette image de la Sicile. Pour finir, ces 12 slides sont des petites recommandations très simplement pour réussir le marché français. C'est essayer de réfléchir une stratégie de publicité et de marketing. Aujourd'hui, j'aime beaucoup cette image des producteurs et tout avec ces votes, mais je pense que derrière, il y a des entreprises qui ont besoin de vendre, de créer des emplois, et que l'entreprise bio est très porteuse, et que ce n'est pas mauvais d'être producteur et aussi travailler dans le commerce. Après, ce que le consommateur doit vraiment voir dans son produit, pas tout simplement une image de santé, sinon une image d'identité, une image qui le ressemble. Et qu'il ne faut pas penser que les acheteurs, on est des mauvaises personnes tous, surtout les acheteurs de supermarchés. Il faut imaginer que aussi c'est possible d'établir des stratégies, c'est possible d'établir un message et c'est possible de travailler ensemble. Et comme conclusion, voilà, c'est toujours dire aux producteurs qu'avant d'attaquer un marché, pensez à son circuit de distribution, pensez à l'évolution du marché, ne pas penser que la France, c'est la France des années 2000. Aujourd'hui, la France a vraiment changé par rapport à sa consommation. Elle est très dynamique il y a beaucoup de marques françaises qui s'installent. Et ne pas oublier les nouveaux consommateurs. Il est très jeune. Le consommateur français, surtout sur la région de Paris, c'est un consommateur qui aujourd'hui a 20 ans. Travailler en co-développement avec soit les distributeurs pour construire une stratégie ensemble, soit au niveau régional, comme vous le faites aujourd'hui, pour vendre, entre virgules, une région. Et c'est tout, et je vous remercie.
Ringrazio la dottoressa Ludgerson per la sua presentazione sul sistema di distribuzione e sui canali di distribuzione dell'ortofrutta
in France, and especially on the evolution of the French market and the French distribution in the organic market since the year 2000 to the present. I would like to open the discussion right now. I would like to ask those who want to participate to signal me. Each intervention should be maximum 2 minutes. And then, I know we are all tired, and we woke up very early this morning, we have a pre-dinner drink waiting for us at the cluster. Which will include the showing of a video on DOP and GDP certification. So it will be interesting to watch it. Please keep your speeches very brief. I would like to repeat to Ms. Ondrich by Rosario Provino that he's got a plane to catch, so he wished to be the first one to speak. Please don't get offended. I think there is some bias here. Yes, there is, but we need to overcome it. I think there is some bias because in the mind of people, Sicily is a place where there is no internet. We have 4G internet, please. But I assure you there are many times where you try and call Sicily and it doesn't work. There is the bias of a backward country with smart people in Sicily. Well, smart people are present in Sicily, in Italy, and everywhere. And there are those people who work very well in Sicily, in Italy, and everywhere. I believe that there is a misunderstanding here. Organic producers are producers, both in Sicily, in Italy, in Belgium, in France, and everywhere. So they receive some benefits from the European Union because they are producers. We can't speak of checks and controls and then just select the producers that are small producers and that lack the facilities to perform the required checks and certifications. I said smart people are in Sicily, but they are everywhere, because when a French or Belgian or English supplier buys oranges at 30 cents, they are not organic, or they know exactly that they are paying half the fair price.
Let's try and have less bias. I really like this experience of the Swiss colleague who found positive and had a good opinion of the Sicilians. I am sorry for offending some Sicilians. I don't want to say that Sicilians are bad people, but there are problems there. There is a lack of trust by the Germans. We don't have BioSuite certification. That is a further element that allows you to trust, because it costs a lot of money and a lot of time to have a BioSuite certification. Germany purchases European organic food. We have low prices because we don't spend so much money on food as the French or the Italians. We have a completely different way of shopping for food. But there are problems to solve in Sicily. I want to overcome this distrust. I like Sicily. I almost always like Sicilian people. I believe that Sicily has far more potential than what is showing right now. I apologize, maybe my message was not that clear. I don't have the same level of Italian as Stefano, so I'm sorry again. We need to overcome this bias. You want to grow, you want to produce more organic food. That's good. I worked with Italian cooperatives, not only with Spanish ones. Large OPs and big size cooperatives is not the right approach. I believe it's not the right approach. Mistretta is a producer. He would like to say something.
Sarò brevissimo nel discorso. Sereno, non è questo il tavolo per poter fare una discussione molto più lunga.
This is not the right place to have a comprehensive discussion.
Il mio intervento sarà breve. Si può presentare? Io sono Giuseppe Mistretta.
My name is Giuseppe Mistretta. I have a small farm in Sicily. We produce cabbage. And I've met Mr. Provino a few years ago. I will be glad if you could repeat these activities with the producers in Sicily and do it more often. The message that have to come across is important, and here there are no producers at all. Can I answer to this? This exchange of views are like sparks that triggers activities in Sicily. This is why they are always recorded and they are kept on the platform so that you can review it and start some other discussions in Sicily. I believe it's important to repeat a similar activity with a wider audience of Sicilian producers. The elements that we take home from this discussion are very important also for regional producers, because both the presentations by the Sicilian speakers and also the remarks and the information we gather from our foreign friends on the market and on the philosophy that is affecting the evolution of the market are crucial for the producers who are going to deal with foreign countries. This is an important message that I would like to deliver. We are a small producer, and I'm very glad to hear for the first time what happens outside Italy. Usually I don't have any experience abroad. So now it's not the place to continue and go into details of this discussion. My message is that we should organize more meetings and foster the dialogue. The organic market in Sicily has to take a different approach. I've been dealing with organic market for 20 years, but since 2010, I saw that things are changing, are taking a different direction. That is the right one, the one I hoped for Sicilian producers. Thank you. In fact, in 2012, the City Council created the organic table where all the supply chain is participating. This is an important piece of information that has to be given to the foreign people who purchase our product. The table is open to everybody because it's free, you don't get paid. We participate in the table on a voluntary basis. And I really need to thank Francesco for the success of this dialogue. Professor Inglese is a scientific, important representative, and then Mr. Guarnaccia, Mr. Furneri, Mr. Guccione are also participating, and we exchange opinions and we plan the next activities. I understand that often there is a lack of information. We mentioned an incoming activity in Sicily with 30 operators. I manage the activity 133 to promote certificated product in Europe. This measure will be applied in the next round, 2014-2020, and that will include activities of incoming advertising, financial support up to 70% of the project value. So, rather than just passing paper, I suggest to create a tangible project to promote organic market that will be implemented all over Europe. Then everybody will exploit their own personal network to promote it. I would like, though, to create a Sicilian structure that will allow to reap better results. We need to gather the remarks, even if they are bad remarks, from our colleagues so that we can improve. I would like to give the word to Elsa. She's a lady, so she has to come first and speak first. Apologize for my presentation earlier. I just would like to ask a question. In my market, when I speak to my customers, I see two types of organic. An organic market that links directly consumers to producers, and then the organic food that you find in supermarkets. I'm not saying that one is good and one is not. I'm just saying that we need to find a way to explain it and to be fair. When a consumer faces two options, and I mean it has to be fair towards consumers and towards producers. What shall we say? Is it a matter of surface? Well, the basis is the producers, because if the best customer for a small producer is a specialized store rather than a supermarket, then that is it. The selling channel is the first thing, and all your commercial speech should revolve around this. The product is important, but it is based on your commercial channel. I think that we can do something else. We can devise different solutions. There is not one right solution. There is more than one. So I think it's possible. Even to change consumption in supermarket, to convey a different message. All this commitment about the caliber of oranges, well, I sell them too, but there are some efforts that are so difficult to make, some commitments that are so difficult to keep to, that the size matters. I'm a producer and I know what you mean. This is just a question on my side. I'm often asked, what shall I say to consumers when they ask me this question? If you know your producer, then you know your product. I made my choice of addressing small producers, but this is my choice.
Dear Elsa, the organic in your shop and in the shop of supermarkets is guaranteed by the certification bodies. An important thing that we mentioned before is that traceability needs to be clear in the labels. So the box needs to have a traceability that is valuable. And I want to say something in favor of Mrs. Bouquet and Mr. Provino. We also have the same cases that we have in Italy, in Germany, so sometimes we lost some processes in the relationship with the consumer. we had many operators from the entire European basin, and they saw the energy of our companies and the production. And first of all, they saw the ethic aspects of our companies, because an organic company, before beginning to have an organic production, we need to have a project that is ethical. So everybody needs to have a process of processing, and that's the global supply chain that is respectful for the environment, because we need to have a global respect. And then as to the OPs, it's true that the OPs do not follow the final goals, because the OP needs to let the product be homogeneous. And so I agree with both of you, because when the ship is too big, we have difficulties. And I would like to thank the attendees, the audience. Mr. Miosi organized this beautiful meeting, and I wish that this meeting will be important. Just 1 minute, Mrs. Sciacca, then Professor Guernaccia, and then we will finish. Yes. My name is Vera Sciacca. I work as assessor for agriculture, but I also talk in best of consumer. I work in the administration. I've been working for 25 years in the administration and in organic agriculture in order to promote the consumption and, of course, the harvesting of organic in Sicily. In Sicily, we have a market that represents an important layer of the market, that is this kilometer zero bio. And we invested a lot on that. We also had a brand on that. And this is aimed at the controlled product, and in Sicily is the bio or the IGP. And we have this kilometer zero, and many organic companies adopted this brand during last months. No, I will say something on that. I would like to say that the OPs have the function, the organizations of producers, and we have 7 organizations of producers in Sicily. We are trying to organize our companies because this is an association of producers, so that's the aim of the OP, not to put the products together. So the Sicilian OP, organic OPs, have this kind of path, and maybe in other parts of Italy, you're right, but the Sicilian organizations acknowledge as OP, bio-OP, work on the organic, so we don't have a double line. I just wanted to outline this fact, and there's a market, the market of the short supply chains, in particular in the eastern part of Sicily and probably also in the western part, because we have the organic products and the producers sell their products. Anyway, we will have some other meetings. I don't have so much time. Last intervention, then we will finish. Mr. Paolo Guarnaccia. I think I collected the need for more transparency and attachment to the values of the organic, so not just the certification, but the respect for the environment, the values that are connected to this movement that has 30, 40 years of history in Europe and will continue growing. I think that we can find together some solutions, especially with you, because I enjoyed a lot one word that you mentioned, an alliance between producer and seller, in order to find some solutions and to solve our problems in a very participating way. So we need to take this path and we need to think together. No overlapping interests. There's an interest for health, and we must be linked to these values. And you represent the consumers of these products, so we should repeat. We should have other meetings like the one we had today. It was very nice to hear your voices and the needs and your suggestions as well. I think that somebody of you said that we also need training and research on the organic sector. So that's why we have many experts of agronomy here today, and I think that we could find a common path. Last information. The activities will continue tomorrow and the day after tomorrow with the visit in Sicily. Unfortunately, we will only have 2 foreign buyers, Mrs. Ongrish and Rutgerson. I'm sorry for the 2 other speakers. We hope to have your presence in Sicily in the future in order to understand the way we manage our organic food, and maybe we could improve this activity in Sicily through the organization of some other meetings. We already have some available dates. We would like you to join our meetings in September and October. Today's meeting was just a first step for a future collaboration with you, and we need to understand the philosophy of organic food in Europe, and maybe everybody will take profit from such meetings. So I'd like to thank you all, nobody excluded. Thank you so much.